We have a summary of proceedings. Has everybody had a chance to read those?
I have. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Arshmith?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
One item of old business that we have is the reports for Information Systems Committee. These reports are designed to give us the ability to oversee information systems. Last committee meeting we had, we presented a whole list of reports, that was a comprehensive list, and no way we were going to be able to do all of those reports. So I went through and pared them down, got with Jacob. Jacob says that he is happy with what we have here. It's going to be a list of 6 reports. I was hoping he'd be here tonight, but does anybody have any comments or questions on? Basically, it's going to be an executive summary, and it's just a status check of whether we're in the green, the yellow, or the red, and a summary. And then critical system status, and what the status of our email communications, finance systems, network, internet, public safety, backups, and anything else that we have. And then we have a report for cybersecurity and continuity, just basically looking at any incidents that happened and any backup status that we have. And then the next report will be on financial and capacity snapshot, and it's budget status, whether we're on track or having problems with the budget. And then the top risk for the IT, which would be a maximum of 3, so we just list those. Excuse me. And then outlook and council consideration, the planned focus. Jacob would outline his planned focus and whether he needs any action from council in order to achieve those goals. And then that's about it. So it's basically 2 pages. That's about it. So if nobody has any questions, what I plan on doing is putting together an ordinance or a resolution, whichever fits best, and present this at the next committee meeting for the committee to either forward or discuss. Anybody have any questions?
No, I would just thank you for this. I was prepared to put together a much amended version of what was presented last week. So this is much better, I think much more manageable for the IT department. Yeah, I think keep this in committee would be my preference so that we can review this over the next week and then, or 2 weeks, and then, yeah, I would suggest presenting it in an ordinance form.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I'm good.
Okay, so we'll hold this in committee. Matters not on the agenda. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up for Information Systems Committee? Anybody, administration? If not, we're adjourned, 6:33. And let's see, who's in charge of the next meeting?
Hello, you damn old Democrat.
Legislation codes.
Huh?
Is legislation codes.
Oh, yeah,
That's still you.
that's still me.
And you gotta wait a minute.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You had that other one on there, Matt? Yes.
Yep.
Provided there's no objections, I figured it would just slide through.
Okay.
Call the Legislation and Codes Committee to order at 6:35. Clerk, would you take roll, please?
Mr. R. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Kreider?
Here.
Mr. Clark?
Yep.
I do have one suggestion before we go any further.
Your
My
name.
name, it's been wrong on the last 2 or 3, so
No problem.
just, that's a correction there. Okay, we have a summary of proceedings. Does everybody have a chance to read those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your name's right on those.
Yeah, they are.
Just so that H doesn't get closer to the S, you're all right. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
I'll second.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Okay, we did have one item of new business, but now we've got 2. Both are liquor permit transfers. The first one is for the Busy Bee transfer, and that's down here on Main Street, corner of Columbia and Main, right? Does anybody have anything on that? Chief, do you have anything? No. Do you have anything, Chief?
In response to a request from a councilman, we went a couple months ago. Is it a couple months ago, Mr. Smith? Yeah. They were out of compliance. We gave them a warning and got them back into compliance. And they have been spot checked twice and they remain in compliance. So I don't have any further issues.
Okay. Any recommendations of the council or the committee?
I recommend that we send it to council.
Take
Without
action.
no action.
Take no action, yeah, you're right.
And I'll second
Yeah,
it.
on liquor permits.
Clerk, take roll, please.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Okay, our second item is also a liquor permit. It's Brothers Grocery Shop on Jefferson Street. I'm not familiar with that.
In the middle of the
Right.
block, kind of, yeah, past the tracks, between the tracks and Fairground Street, on the right side as you go.
Okay. Anybody from the audience have any comments on that? Anybody from administration? No? Okay,
I recommend we take no action.
I'll second.
okay. Clerk, take roll, please.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Concludes the new business. Matters not on the agenda. Does anybody have anything for legislation and codes? If not, we're adjourned. 6:38.
Okay. We're going finance now, right?
I'll move Twyla down here, that way we don't have to move Ralph.
You're down there. Yeah. That way, slightly easier.
Yeah, I'll give this to you. That goes with item number 7.
Okay, this goes with number 7.
You still gotta wait.
Call Finance Committee to order, please. Clerk, if you'll take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Here.
Mr. Rollins?
Present?
Mr. R. Smith?
Here.
Next on the agenda is proceedings of summaries for 220,
Just the year and then the month and the date.
26.
26.
February 2nd.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Clerk, take roll, please.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Arschmidt?
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is old business. Item number 1 is audits. If I can get an update from the auditor's office on the status. I believe there was a meeting with Clark Schaefer and Hackett.
Yeah, we met with Clark Schaefer and Hackett Representative Brian a few days ago, and he brought me up to speed with where things were and where everything is heading. And the focus seems to be on 2022, finishing the 2022 reconciliation. And that's hopefully will be finished here in the near future. And then we'll take up the future years after that.
Do we have a date on the finishing of 22?
Just this afternoon, I asked the question, and hopefully in a couple of weeks, he thinks. Yeah.
Great.
Is there any other questions? Not moving on to item number 2, penalties and appeals. We'll get an update on,
Well, I guess,
oh,
if,
I'm sorry.
no, you're okay. Maybe if we could get a brief update on where we're at with the path forward with the state, since that was kind of under item 1, right? So,
Oh, on the audits? For
well,
the,
maybe I'm misunderstanding, but is this proposed path forward, this is to deal with the state, correct?
The path forward was the audit progression from Clark Schaefer Hackett, how they were hoping the audits would progress and be completed in a timely manner.
Okay. Then I,
yeah, and then with the delay, the update was to get, because the 22 was supposed to be done the end of January, and it got postponed because of everything that was going on.
Yep.
So we just wanted to get a status update, and 23 will follow once we get 22 and the such. Is there any other questions?
no,
Okay.
you can proceed, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Penalties and appeals, going to get an update from the auditor's office on any penalties or maybe the status on appeals. You talked with Voorhees?
Yes. And that Voorhees has no pending work with us now. There were several smaller ones that could have been appealed. I don't believe they were. We did get a check today from the IRS for a 35% abatement from our 941 bills, which was around 66,000, I think it was. Yeah, so the check was for 25, the total penalty was 66. So, the difference would be, a penalty we still paid. We paid the IRS 148 for the third quarter 941s, and there are some outstanding penalties from OPERS and Ohio Police and Fire, although we don't have a good grasp on that, what it is, because we're just now processing those to get caught up. Once we're caught up with those, we'll have a better idea of what the ending expense will be.
So the 148.50 that we paid was for third quarter 2025 941s.
Yes.
So how do we stop these penalties and fees from accruing? What plan do we have in place now?
Well, as far as the expenses for the 941s, ADP would be responsible if they were late now because they're paying the taxes.
So they started in November. So what
Yes.
about October? Were October 941s filed on time, or are we going to get a penalty for those?
I haven't seen any instance where they were behind.
So we don't know for sure if those have been paid or not?
Well, I mean, you pay quarterly, so October, November, and December would have all been paid as a quarter, so an ADP should have taken care of that. So no, I don't think if there is a penalty that it would fall back onto the city because it would be ADP's responsibility.
Okay, but we didn't go live with ADP until November.
Correct.
So ADP is going to be responsible
So
for November, December.
So what you're asking is second quarter, right? Did second quarter get filed on
No?
time?
Well,
Fourth.
Well, it'd be fourth.
fourth quarter.
Well, fourth quarter would have been ADP if they took over in November.
Yeah, they would have had to file and pay whatever was due as part of October for the whole quarter.
And that's my
I mean,
question.
information should, I believe information was given to ADP as to where we were before.
Okay,
Do you understand?
so that'll be included in their fourth quarter report then?
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't believe that the city has to worry about that.
I just didn't want October falling between, that month falling in the cracks because of the switchover at the beginning of a quarter.
But just to clarify, so the other two quarters were also submitted on time with no penalties? Quarter two and quarter three?
First and second quarter had no penalties, and then third quarter, we paid $148.
Oh, I thought that was first quarter.
That's
No,
third
that
quarter.
was
Third quarter.
Third
Yeah.
quarter, 25. So first and second, there's no penalty.
Got ya.
Third
Thank you.
quarter, we paid, and fourth quarter, I think,
Should
I
have.
believe should be ADP's responsibility.
Okay.
Yes, ADP sends me confirmations for the 941s,
Okay.
so we have those in tracking.
Are there any other questions? If not, moving on to item number 3, ordinance 2026-001. That is ordinance to make appropriations for salary benefits and other expenditures for fiscal year December 31st, 2026. Still currently working on that finalization, and it's expected to be done and completed by committee on March 2nd.
It will be to committee by March 2nd, so whatever the Thursday before that is my deadline to get it turned in.
Okay, you'll get that to the clerk then on
Yeah.
that Thursday.
Is it the 27th maybe?
26th.
26th? Okay, yeah.
Okay, moving on to item number 4. Finance 12, tax code amending 2023-029. Clerk, would you read, please?
Ordinance amending chapter 194.081, credit for taxes paid to other municipalities, last amended by ordinance 2023-029.
Okay. So the state has recommended that this should be repealed to bring in the income that the city needs for budget purposes and spending purposes. It will be 100% for the 2026 tax year, which would be paid in your filing year in 2027. Did anybody want to make an additional comment on that?
I just think that this is something we really have to do, because the city's in trouble, and everybody that lives in the city is going to have to share some of that burden.
I think it's disgusting that we would ask Marion citizens, Marion residents who work outside the city of Marion to hold the bag for the mistakes of multiple administrations and multiple accounting and accountability failures. I will adamantly not support this legislation. I sense it's going to move out of committee tonight. That is fine. But to hold the taxpayers of Marion accountable for the mistakes of multiple administrations and reckless spending is not appropriate.
I don't think we're holding citizens responsible for.
Well, who's holding the bag?
Well, this was this was a ballot vote that the citizens voted on, the 2%. And it did not say anywhere on the ballot that if you worked outside of the city, you did not have to pay this tax.
You're still paying the 2%.
No, you're not. Not to Marion. Marion is not receiving this revenue. It's going to the city that that person is working in.
Then that's a problem that needs to be addressed at the state level.
Well, if we have people that live in Marion using EMS, fire, police, the streets, the sewer, I mean, they're using everything and paying for nothing, and it's putting the burden on the people who can't afford to work outside of Marion City.
I make a motion, we move this on to council with a recommendation to approve.
I'll second that. Clerk, if you'll take vote, please.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
No.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Moving on to item number 5. Finance 13 burial fund. Clerk, if you read, please.
Ordinance directing the auditor to make an additional appropriation within the Department of Public Safety Indigent Burial Fund line item.
This ordinance is just providing the city with funds that we receive for burial.
Correct, this is state funded, so they give us the funds for indigent burials.
I'll make a motion to send to council with a recommendation to approve.
I'll second.
Clerk, if you'll take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Item number 6, Finance 14, SCMR appropriations. Clerk, would you read, please?
Ordinance requesting additional appropriations to the SCMR fund in the below listed line items for the year ending December 31st, 2026.
Again, this is an ordinance appropriating funds that we receive so that we can deposit them and then pay back out without any delay to a contractor that's put the money up front.
I'll make a motion to send to council with a recommendation to approve.
Second.
Clerk, take it.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Item number 7, Finance 15, funds released for 25%. Clerk, if you'll read, please.
An ordinance authorizing the release and expenditure of more than 25% of the approved first quarter budget due to annual expenses required to be paid in advance for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Okay. So this is a request to release additional funds for the first quarter.
Didn't we just pass one of these?
We did at the beginning of the year, and since then I had a select few that had added on additional items, one of them being like the income tax refunds. I would say like with their season being at the beginning of the year, more of their expenses are
Mhm.
upfront as opposed to later on in the year, but, and then I did provide you with the reasoning too.
So the requested amount is addition to what the 25% is, like the approved budget, like on, where you City Hall was 4350. 25% of that was 108750, and they're requesting the 160213. Is that an addition to the 1087?
Yes. But it does not exceed the 4350.
So on the SCMR, they, 25% is 3,000 and they're requesting an additional 3,000. So that would make that 20, the line item would be 6,000 then?
Correct. That would
Okay.
be their, that amended column.
I just wanted to make sure that I was understanding it right, that
Yeah.
it's additional to what's already
Not
there.
additional appropriation, just,
Additional release.
yeah, yeah. So they're not asking for more money, they're just asking for their budgeted amount to be more
Right.
than 25%.
Right, okay.
Just a quick question. Thad Smith, Fifth Ward City Council. In two of them, it says professional services. What exactly is professional services? Just,
Professional services is kind of like a broad term for those. That could be anything like,
Outside legal counsel, physical.
For example, in streets SCMR, it's for backflow testing.
yes,
So we would hire, as most people with backflows do, you have to hire a third party to test your backflows.
thank you.
what did we run out of money for legal advertising in the council's budget?
The legal advertising I just paid for the last planning commission news ad was almost $500. And we've got another one coming up. So I'm a little concerned that before the budget gets passed, I may have to pay for another ad I don't have funds released for.
Okay, all right, thank you.
With that, have we increased permit fees and stuff to start covering some of these
That is
legal?
supposed to be coming to committee on the 2nd of March.
Okay.
Which committee will that come through, legislation or municipal?
I believe legislation codes. Because some of those fees are legislated.
I'll make a motion, we send this on to council, recommendation to approve.
Second.
Take roll, please.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Moving on, matters not on the agenda. Does anybody have anything?
Good evening, Scott Kreider, Council at Large. Status on the W-2s, since we've got a lot of corrections that I guess have been made, but I've been hearing a couple of different things, and things like on payroll, PERS being behind and being paid and so forth. So does anybody think about anything with that, or Mayor?
So a couple of things came into play here on a lot of this, and it's like we discussed before. As far as the W-2s go, it's the first time anybody in that office that's there now has ever done that. So it was very much a joint effort of us all sitting down and trying to figure out from last year's W-2 what's supposed to be on there, what's mandated to be on there, what's whether you, there's other things that you can put on there that you don't have to put on there, like union dues that somebody could look at their pay stub and see how much they paid throughout the year. So through a trial and error process, and going back and forth, because ADP is only going to put on there what we ask them to put on there. So, having been behind the 8 ball, like on the 27th of January or somewhere thereabouts, and us having to get those done, I think there may be one more correction to be made, which is deferred comp. Once we thought what the finals went out Friday or yesterday, we started hearing from some firemen that, it's not showing up like it should, and unbeknownst to us until that happened. So we're working through that issue. What was the other?
Quick question, just on OPERS, is that not supposed to show on the W-2?
Yes, it has to. Anything that affects your taxable income.
Well, that's my understanding, but can someone point to on the W-2 where that?
Box
So-
12.
It's in box 12, but it's also in the upper,
Yeah, it's the upper.
We don't have anything in box 12, do we?
No.
There's nothing in box 12.
Should have a code of G for conservation. Now it shows,
Find any PERS on there anywhere?
didn't get put in on yours, or you are contributing.
We all are, and none of us have it on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's good. Hang up this deferred comp right now. You hope the last hang
and the other thing as far as the OPERS and the OP&F that we've been behind on since October. Again, nobody here is responsible for ever submitting that. So we've reached out to a local tax person here to help us through that. Well, that was on the W-2s, but on the OPERS and the OP&F, we've reached out to the auditor across the street to try to help us through that. And ADP to figure out exactly how that process needs to work. Martin that's his #1 priority right now, is trying to get those caught up, and he hopes to be caught up on those very soon. So, I talked to the union leadership. I'm going to meet with city garage people, wastewater, and transit, just so they all understand we're not, it's one thing to hear from their boss, hey, they're working on it, but I want to assure them that we're working on it, and hopefully very soon. It's still not as fast as I'd like to see it done. I'd hope we'd have been done with this already, but because of the situation that we were in, with nobody in that office having done certain things before, we kind of had to start from scratch. So hopefully we're getting there. And just like tonight, we don't know until we know, and we've seen that we got to make a correction to some of those too. Thank you for the question.
I have one other question.
I think you guys are semi-monthly, correct? You're not bi-weekly.
Correct, 15th and 30th.
Yeah. So we really have to, so I didn't get to see semi-monthly.
So a lot of employees are getting letters from au pairs. Have we reached out to au pairs to, what's the status on that? Are they, have we given them a list of employees that are getting the letters?
And talking with PERS, they know the situation.
Okay.
They know why we're behind, and they know we're trying to fix it.
Okay.
So they know that we're working through that process of getting all the names and amounts and social security numbers and all that to them so they can be posted.
So I've had a couple of department heads call me, and I've asked them to make a list of the employees that have received letters and to send them to Mr. Powell, so that he can.
We worked on a lot of lists like that. One other list being mistakes that were made in payroll from the 21st through the end of the year, and I stopped up and saw Jeff today, and he was diligently working on a lot of those mistakes, trying to correct those. So the only way for him to do that is go back to each mistake that we've had tracked by the department heads, and then submitted to Janelle, who in turn submits them to the auditor's office. So we have a running list of what mistakes there are and the corrections as we're making them. A lot of moving parts right now, but I think we have a hand on it, hopefully. And it's going to get better the payroll part, I think he's becoming very comfortable with that. They're still working on that formula I think they came up with a solution yesterday or today for the formula as far as longevity pay and how that works. And again, it's just all stuff, hindsight's 20/20. If we would have known back then what we know now, it wouldn't have been near the situation that we're in now.
Okay.
And I know that when employees call, they get answers now, so at least we're getting back with them. They're making, we're hearing what they're saying. So we're getting there.
And then one more question I have is what's the status on getting November and December added? What's the time frame for adding November, December
Yes, we
to
have.
New World so that we
Yes,
can
we
close
have
out the year?
And we have another employee in the office, Kevin, and he's working on that. We're taking the payrolls, meshing them together, or getting the ADP payrolls and pulling them down into a form where we can make a journal entry really easy
Okay.
into New World and get
And
ourselves caught up with that.
What do you think the timeline on that's gonna be?
Probably the first of next week.
Okay.
I would, he's got the first one done, so now he'll just start, once we have a template, it's gonna be easier for him to go in. So, like the first one took like a week and a half, the second one shouldn't do that, because you should pull down the ADP payroll, and then we can copy and paste the template onto it and derive a number quicker.
Okay. Thank you.
Sean Barr, First Ward City Council. Mr. Watts, a couple weeks ago in committee, I asked you about the smaller penalties that Boyers suggested that we apply for abatements for.
Yes.
Have those been identified, and do you have an answer whether they have been
No,
requested or no?
No, they have not been requested.
They have not been
No.
requested.
And
And
Boyers-
is there a timeline that they have to be requested by for us to even be considered for an abatement for those?
Yeah, yes, there is a timeline. I don't know what it is.
But those are identified and your office is working on those?
Yes, right now our priorities, OPERS
I get that.
and OPNF, but,
Okay, but that should be a priority also, right? Maybe not the top priority right
Yes.
now, but I just want to make sure that we're not letting those smaller amounts that Boyer said, hey, you're better off to do those financially yourself. I just want to make sure that we're still requesting abatements on those smaller ones. Thanks.
Is there any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Mayor, is there any update that you can give us on what our status is with the fiscal caution since they rejected it? We've gone back or?
So our recovery plan, I think, is what you're talking
Right.
about and what we submitted. As I said, the main things that they wanted us to focus on when they sent that back was obviously they weren't going to let us go 20 years to pay that back. So we're working on a more reasonable time frame, in their opinion, to do that. And they wanted to see some forecasting, which Chelsea is working on forecasting to be part of that plan. And the other thing was some explanation. They wanted more explanations on how we cut the cuts we made in our 2026 budget to get down to where we're at today. The lady that's helping us through that, Cindy, is on vacation this week, but she has been a part of our phone calls with New World every Monday when we talk to New World and talk about the reconciliation process, which obviously is one of their main concerns, is us getting that done. So that's going to be one of the top priorities, and it is a priority in that plan. One of the things that was voted on tonight as far as the tax credit, although I think I showed you guys a list of things that we're going to do to try to increase our revenue, which the state says we have to try to do. And that was one of those things amongst some other things that'll come out between now and April sometime. So we have until April 6th to file a new plan for approval. We want to file it sooner than that. So as soon as we get it done, it's just, I hate referring to keep going back to how many balls we have in the air, but we're trying to keep them all up there. And it's like every day a priority for us may change from W-2s to OP&F and PERS but anyway, she's been a part of those calls. Ron Vetter, the guy that we hired to do our reconciliations, was part of that call today. He's already found a few things. We keep talking about that $8.9 million negative fund balances. He said that some of the stuff they found could adjust that balance, either better or worse. So we're hoping it's going to be adjusting that to the better, for gosh sake. But it was a good call today. I think that we have the parts in place to get this moving very good in a forward direction, and we'll keep you guys updated every Monday. We have a call. We talk to Ron whenever he calls. He talks with Chelsea quite a bit about what he's found in a particular area. We're going to talk about the system and how it's set up as far as utility billing goes. Andrea Honecker's away on vacation this week, and I wanted to make sure she's part of that call because she deals with it day in and day out. So we try to have all the players in the room when we start talking about stuff like that. So hopefully we're to answer that was a long answer to your question, but by April 6th we will have a new plan in place, or a plan that explains a few more things that they asked for, and it'll be submitted back to the state.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, we'll stand adjourned, 7:13.
Oh, you're fine.
Matt.
It's not too bad.
These for the committee, or?
Many people have them. I'm going to say anybody who wants them, council people, but they're not. This is one piece of
So start collating.
Y'all ready?
I don't think Matt's ready.
Clerk's not ready yet.
I'm ready now.
All right, good evening, everybody. It's 7:14. We'll call Municipal Services Parks and Recreation Committee to order. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Clark?
Here.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
All right, we have some summary of proceedings. Has the committee had a chance to read those?
I have, and I recommend that we approve them.
Do we have a second?
Yep.
Please call the roll.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
All right, we have one item of new business, and it's a discussion on flock cameras. So, I really don't know where we should start this. Chief,
Chief,
you want to come up and give us some answers on it?
Good evening. I want to thank you for the opportunity to answer some questions and provide some information on what I believe is one of the most important crime-fighting tools that we have available to us at the City of Marion. I want to talk to you a little bit about what flock cameras are and what they're not. What they are, they're stationary license plate readers that take a snapshot of a passing car. They do not capture video, and they do not follow people. In Marion County, the Marion County Sheriff's Office holds the contract and owns the data. And that data is stored for 30 days. What it collects are license plate text, the date and time that the car passes the camera location, and the basic vehicle attributes, the make, model, color, that kind of thing, that are all observable from the public roadway. What's not collected are names, addresses, phone numbers, race, sex, other confidential personal information. And our flock cameras do not use facial recognition. There have been some discussions about the security of flock cameras. Flock cameras have multi-factor authentication. They have not been hacked. It has been reported that a online personality gained access to an older camera that was not connected to a flock system. But flock says that the information that is stored in the cloud has never been compromised. And the data that is put is encrypted as it moves from the system to the user. The cameras are not connected to each other. So even if somebody hacked a camera, it doesn't tell them information collected by a separate camera. How we use them. There are two different ways in which information is gathered from flock cameras. A reactive way and a proactive way. The reactive way is the way we most often use them. And what that is if we are doing an investigation and we want to look for information about a car that may have passed a camera, we have to put in a police report number or a calls for service number to do a search for the kind of car we're looking for. That data is held for 30 days. The proactive way in which we use the data is information can be gleaned from NCIC, which is a national computerized data set that collects information about people with warrants, about missing persons, about stolen cars. If one of those data sets passes a camera, it can alert users that the car passed Center Street, a stolen car, a car with a missing adult. We have the ability to do an audit on the use of the camera system. The audit trail is permanent. So if there is a complaint that Jay McDonald is looking for an old girlfriend on flock cameras, we can tell what I searched, when I searched it, what I was looking for. Even though the physical photos are only there for 30 days, that search audit trail is permanent. I have available up here on the table some copies of information that comes from Flock and also a list of success stories from 2025 and 2024. We have used Flock cameras to solve all kinds of crimes, from hit-skip crashes to homicide. They play an important role in the investigations of a wide variety of criminal investigations here in our community. What they are not is they are not used for minor misdemeanor traffic offenses. We do not use them to see if your license plate is expired. Matter of fact, that would be against the city ordinance, prohibiting us from doing so. I'm sure there are a lot of questions. I'll be happy to try to answer as many questions as I can. But if I can't answer them, I have brought Major John Schaefer, who is the tech expert at the police department, who is probably better versed in this tool than I am. And also Sheriff Bales is here as well, who can help me answer some questions.
Thanks, Chief. Does anyone from the committee have any questions? No. It's my understanding these are funded completely by grant funds at the moment. Is that correct, Chief?
That is correct. We have a grant that is paid for these cameras that runs out, I believe, June the 30th. Sheriff, does that sound right to you? May 31st. And we have applied, we being the Sheriff's Office with the support of the Police Department, to renew grant funding. But there are no city tax dollars being used to pay for them now. And if the grant is denied, it is not currently in my budget to keep them going forward, even though I believe that they are a fantastic crime-fighting tool. They were in my budget until circumstances dictated that I had to take them out.
Certainly. Please, Mr. Rollins.
Yeah, just curious, are they still in the sheriff's budget? No? Thank you.
So the sheriff's department is also hoping that grant funding will pull through?
Yes.
Okay. How many of those cameras are in the county? Do you know?
There's 34 total.
Okay.
Countywide.
And 22 of them are in the city.
Okay.
So 12 of them would be outside the city.
Okay. Does anybody else from the audience have any questions? Yeah, we're gonna just stay in your seat. If you want to stand up, that's fine.
Kind of Jesse, Marion, I'm going out. My question is the sheriff's department and the city police, are they going to share this cost if we don't get the grant? Is that what you're saying?
No, that would be our original plan, but with the city finances the way they are, I don't have any funds to spend on them. So if we do not get the grant dollars, they will not be here.
Those, it's my understanding those cameras are a leased item, so if the grant funding runs out and the general fund can't support it, then the leasees or leasers will be coming to pick them up.
What's the cost for something like that?
It's like $3,300 a year.
$3,000 per camera per year.
Per camera, we've got 34 cameras?
Yes.
What was that number again?
$3,000 per camera per year.
I agree with you, I think we need those.
They have been very, very helpful to us in solving all sorts of crime. They are a wonderful evidence gathering tool, and they're a force multiplier for the police department. As our numbers get smaller, I have less officers today than I had 3 months ago. As our numbers get smaller, these cameras are still staying.
Any other questions? Anybody? Okay.
I do.
Oh, yeah. Please, stand up.
All right.
All right. I called on the lady first, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, I was going to bring it up.
After you, Mr. Daniels.
Yeah.
Wally Daniel, 608 Decatur Street, Marion, Ohio. Now this was probably about 1998. It was an out-of-plate car. It was out of Virginia. It had been sitting. I lived over on East Farming, and it had been sitting there for some time. And well, the person was up in one of the apartments, not mine, but somebody else's. And I was curious, and I sat there and I called the city police, and needless to say, the guy was wanted in Newport News, Virginia for assault. They had a standing warrant on him. Of course, this was the first time that they knew anything about it because, of course, they didn't have that technology back then. You had to depend on people to sit there and call in and say, hey, you got this guy that's been here for 2 weeks and he's not supposed to be here. So, well, at least not, you know, renter-wise. But it's the first time, you know, that the city police found out. Of course, somehow he found out because he skipped out. And I don't know if they ever caught him or not, but I think the cameras are probably a good thing. It don't bother me in any way. It costs me like, it costs like maybe $112,000 a year, it sounds like. So it's nice to know that all of my information isn't just gonna go to some crazy judge or something like that has it out for me. They don't, but you never know. It's either that, because we have a lot of out-of-staters here, especially from New York, for example. I counted 12 plates in the last year. I mean, it's black and yellow, so it's not like you just don't suddenly notice it.
Yep.
So, I have nothing else.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you, Mr. Daniels. I think that the cameras are a crucial role in our police force. And as the chief here stated, the numbers of police officers have gone down a little bit, so it's kind of crucial that we have those. So, yeah, and I think that the residents and the constituents that voted for me also would like to see them stay. So I'm in complete support of them, so.
Well, it's not like you have 100 of them on every street.
Right.
I mean, you know, there's one in my neighborhood up on Fairground, but.
And is there an expectation of privacy realistically when you're driving your car down a public road?
Well, because this has come up, it's like you kind of pay a little bit more notice to them. But I mean, they just sit there for the most part. It's like, I mean, I'll probably end up forgetting about it later on when this dies down. I am a little bit more concerned about the fact that we don't have an officer down in the main lobby, because, well, I mean, she's unarmed, and especially on Tuesday when arraignments are about, not that I've ever been to one, but it gets kind of crazy, and there's nobody to back those individuals up.
Yeah.
And it's like an officer sitting there at the desk. I mean, they're already on patrol. And they volunteered for it. Well, they get paid, of course, but, you know, for 2 hours or whatever. And it's like usually for the crazies that might want to start something, it's like they generally don't if they have an officer sitting there.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents worth.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Barr, and then Ms. Mayor.
Sean Barr, First Ward, City Council. I'm just curious, when is the grant notification, or the award notification? Do we know when those are? Obviously before May 31st.
It was submitted right before the first year.
Okay, so there's not a deadline of when they'll notify?
No, not that.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Really Mayor, 890 Gephardt Street. So I brought this up because I'm like, I also want safety, okay, but these cameras are constantly on. And so wherever it is they're facing, it's being recorded. What if it was facing at your house? I mean, it's.
They don't face houses.
They don't?
No. No,
Okay,
they
well, I'm
take
gonna go out
pictures
and I'm
of
gonna get
license
pictures
plates
of
on.
every single one of these cameras and see.
But you
what's in.
can't see the angle that the camera is looking
You can
at.
see the angle and you can kind of see where it's
Okay.
facing, and you can kind of get an idea
Okay.
that way. I see they're everywhere. But,
I had a page that I would encourage you to grab from over there. It shows kind of like the picture of.
yeah, I've seen them.
Have you?
Oh, yeah, trust me, I've seen them.
Okay,
I've not
I
liked
think what
them
he's
from the
telling you is,
beginning.
this is the picture, kind of pictures they take, like that, to take at the road.
Yeah, but see, they also do like a pan tilt zoom. So they can
don't.
zoom in.
No, they don't.
No, as in who, like, how do we know that?
The models that we have do not take video and they don't move.
All right, because see, I'm bringing this up because, see, this is information that was brought to me. So I'm questioning it just as much, right? Because I'm all about rights as well. Just because we have criminals out there doesn't mean my rights need to be violated constantly. And when you have cameras up, what happens when you have a sign go up? It said no shoes, no shirt, no service. What happened? It never came down. Never. Anytime, no swimming up their lifeguard, it never came down. These 34 cameras are up, there's gonna be another 34 cameras in 5 years. And they're gonna be creeping and creeping and creeping. They are not completely accurate. There was another lady that was sitting right here. Her name is Miss Frances Rodriguez. She lives in the Marion City. I'm not sure of her exact address. She had to leave, so she asked if I would read this article, so I'll kind of skim it. It says, and that's what I mean. We don't know where all of the, like who can see it and the mistakes. And so we need to concern ourselves with this. It says a study found, this is coming from something called Central Current. A study found Syracuse's new license plate readers made frequent mistakes. Counselors didn't know before approving them. This is dated August 13th of 24 by Patrick McCarthy. The mistakes underscore concerns from the technology experts say the flock readers present. Data retention and sharing concerns. When they greenlit the use of this plate readers program, the majority of counselors did not know the research that they found that the readers regularly spit out incorrect information. According to research published 3 years prior to this, which was already a year and a half ago at this point, by a security and surveillance research firm, flock license plate readers misread 1 in 10 license plates. That does not include any of the other errors that may have happened. So with that being said, is there is people out there, you can go back and look at there's information out there, I did not bring it with me, but people are being flagged, going, you got this, they have to be dragged into court, it wasn't even them, it wasn't their car, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. So they're not perfect. Yes, I know they help things, but anyway, back to the article. It says it's something that definitely needs to be brought up as far as in the mistakes. It says, I had no idea that there's a percentage of, that high of a percentage of misreads. At least 4 counselors expressed concern over the data. IVPM is the firm that released the study about the flock readers. They also found that the readers logged plates multiple times. Vehicle characteristics could be misread, and that the car may be regularly incorrect. Flock stopped selling its readers to IPVM for testing shortly after the report was issued. Flock is the only license plate reading technology provider who refuses to allow IPVM to test its product, says this guy named Donald May of IBPM's head operations. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. We have that, and we have the information to do with investigative journalism by We the People, talking about they are about $2,500 per so camera to use. It's a lot of money, and right now we don't have the money for it. We don't have the money for it. So, sorry.
Nope, and Ms. Mayor,
Yes.
if the grant runs out and we don't have the money for it, then that's unfortunate for us and unfortunate for the community members, because that means we will all be slightly less safer.
Not necessarily less safer, and I'm okay for technology is if things can be controlled. I don't think this is being controlled. I know what they say, but I don't know that that's true. There's a lot of things that's happened that we don't always know that's true. That's neither here for me to say. Anyway, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else? Mr. Kreider, please.
Scott Kreider, City Council at Large. Chief, who does the auditing for the system, or Sheriff? Is there like a committee that does the auditing for?
No, Major Schaefer would be in charge of the audit if somebody wanted to ask for that audit.
So you wouldn't just have one person and not like a group of people if there's anything in doubt?
Right.
Okay. So that would just be like if there's concerns about inaccuracies or something of that nature. So.
Yeah, kind of on the same subject, I was going to ask, is there anybody from Flock that would be interested in coming to a meeting and actually?
You can ask.
Okay, that would be nice. And then if we could find that out earlier so we can put it out on social media and maybe get a full house so everybody can hear that person speak, that'd be awesome.
We will ask.
Mr. Daniels.
On the annual 608 Decatur Street, Marion, Ohio. Chief McDonald, I noticed that there's cameras at University Drive. There's about 3 or 4 of them. Are those red light cameras?
Well, that's not in the city, but we do not have red light cameras in Marion County at all.
Yeah, but red light cameras. I mean, we're talking, basically when you're talking about the cameras, the block cameras that you're gonna, they don't record for the purposes of traffic violations.
Correct.
Okay, well, I mean, if we had red light cameras on the other hand, they would do exactly that. And of course, a lot of times they've been wrong. They've had those problems down there in the city of Columbus, for example. Mayor Ginther got in quite a bit of trouble with that whole mess. I guess he was connected with the company that he was in contract with. But it sits there and takes a fast infrared camera shot of the plate that sits there and speeds through. Sometimes they get it wrong and they send it to the wrong address, and it causes all kinds of problems. And so, and of course, if you don't pay, then you end up in the court system. So, I mean, if this system isn't even doing that, it's just taking a picture for the possibility of watching for people that are coming into our community.
Yep, who may have warrants associated with their license plates. It would ting it, right? That would make.
I mean, you had a problem about 10 or 15 years ago when you had people here that we didn't even know were here that were involved in drug trade. I mean, well, they married local people, and eventually they got caught, but that was because of the feds. I mean, but these 10 or so people have been living in our neighborhood for like a year or so, and if they had come in here, like from out of state, which they did, and they had been caught with the cameras, then they might have been caught a lot earlier, but of course this is 15 years ago.
Right.
So, I don't see the I don't see the issue. That's just my opinion.
Well, thank you. Anybody else have anything to say? Mr. Ratliff?
Good evening, Ayers Ratliff, 411 Oak Street. And, this is something I had said last December in one of my very last council meetings. And I served on the city council for 20 years and made hundreds, if not more than 1,000 votes for the city. And the one vote that I regret the most is to allow these. I think that they are misused, and just looking at the optics tonight, you have a gentleman with a gun overlooking and towering over people who get up and speak, telling us that he should have cameras on us 24 hours a day, and it is extremely poor optics. Just if you look at the makeup of this room right here, with the police chief continuously glaring at your speakers with a gun on his hip. And it is poor optics, and we should not fool ourselves that we are above having a police department that has problems. We are not above having a police chief that has significant moral problems. And we should not give them tools to continue to violate our civil rights as citizens. Because when the police police the police...
I don't find him intimidating while he's standing there.
I do. And I don't know if any of the other speakers do, but I do. And you are sitting up there at a much different vantage point than someone standing here.
Understood. Anybody else have anything to say?
I would like to address that. I think, first of all, as a elected city councilman, I have 150% faith in Chief McDonald and Sheriff Bales in the performance of their duties. They have given no reason for people to think that they're trying to intimidate or pressure. I find both gentlemen very pleasant to be around. So sorry, Mr. Ratliff, I realize that you have just gone through some major trauma with law enforcement in your life, but you cannot project that on the rest of the city. That was an isolated issue. So I think we should congratulate our law enforcement in this county and let them do their job. That's all.
Ms. Mayor stood up a second ago.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add? Mr. Daniels?
I'm sorry, don't review that again. 608 Decatur Street, Marion, Ohio. I don't see myself being intimidated by an officer because there's a sheriff behind me right down, and I'm sure he's armed too. And if I have a problem with an officer of the law in this city or or a sheriff's deputy, and there was one, I didn't report it, that was a number of years ago, but you better believe that if they sit there and they're harassing, I'm gonna sit there and go right into the office and file a complaint. And of course, if the department for some dumb reason comes after me because of that, and that's happened before. I did it before. I sat there and made a complaint against an officer who was a foreign exchange officer a number of years ago from Australia, because she's rude, absolutely rude. I spoke to a lieutenant. I don't know who he was, but she's absolutely rude. The only thing I was trying to do is I was trying to return somebody's cell phone, and she completely unhinged on me. And it's like, yeah, you bet. If somebody comes unhinged on me, I'll sit there and try to disengage, but you better believe I'm going to be coming in here to file a complaint if that happens again.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Just one last thing, my name is Dinah Jesse, I live at 7 Blaine Avenue, and I don't think this is a place to air, I'm gonna just screw this all up. I guess I want to congratulate you, actually, for your success there, but this is not the place to bring your vendettas against the police officers and our sheriff department. I think they are excellent at what they do, and I don't think his moral competence matters to this issue. That's what I wanted to say.
Please.
I just want to say again, this has nothing to do about a personal thing with me. I am handling my issue with them in federal court. I'm saying I have seen a lot of issues sitting up here that I had the time to see that maybe you haven't. I've had multiple conversations with our law director throughout the years. And mark my words, our police department has significant problems. You will learn it. And I understand that you don't know them now. And you should have faith in them until you learn that you can't. I've learned it. And you will too.
Kimberly Mayor, 890 Gephardt. I'm not one to pass judgment on anything, and I'm not intimidated 100% by a person wearing a gun on their hip, but I'm in a building where I'm not allowed to wear a gun on a hip if I wanted to wear one. Just because he has a comment on something doesn't mean he's thinking that way. I don't know what she was thinking on that. Like, people are allowed to have their own comments, doesn't mean they're being, I'm doing a vendetta. And it has to do with attacking the rights, to keep coming with the cameras. They keep coming, they keep coming, they keep coming. Pretty soon, it's gonna be even more and more and more.
Anything else to do with flock cameras? We're adjourned, 7:44.